It's so easy to say, well, I got just a few extra dollars in my pocket. I can grab a coffee, or I can buy pizza for everyone, or whatever that might be. But then those few extra dollars add up in your pocket, and now you can't get gas in your car to get to work. But it's important to tell your money where to go, not wonder where it went. Welcome to Fireside Talks, where we help bring you from survival to stability.
Through skills, support, and the hope of Jesus Christ.
Welcome, and this month on Fireside Talks, we are talking about budgeting and money. Pat last week gave a lesson on money and what the Bible says about money. Today, we want to talk to you more about ways that you can put that into practice, what that would look like in your daily life. We know that in our mission, in Fireside, where we are wanting to take young adults and teach them how to be productive citizens, how to thrive in the world and not just survive. We know that money is a big issue for many people, even adults, let alone a young adult newly into the world. And money can be difficult for many different reasons.
And I think thinking about young adults, one of the problems we ran into early on when we were first married was the idea that, like for me, you walk out into my dad's garage and it's full of all of this stuff. He's got all these tools and all this other stuff in the garage. And I think one of the things, especially with young people, they don't recognize is, by that point in his life, it had taken him 45 years to get all of that. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the struggles you see young people have is they want what took other people 40 years to get.
Right. Yeah.
But money is going to be a real conversation that I think we have to have all the time at Fireside Community. Because I think first off, probably a lot of the people we're going to serve, and maybe I'm making assumptions that I shouldn't, but probably haven't seen a lot of healthy stewardship in their life to start with.
Right.
So.
Well, and not even that, I don't know. My parents were decent with money, but even my parents describe difficulties at the beginning of their marriage, and my parents have a funky way of splitting up their money because my mom's money is used for groceries and fun, and my dad's money is used for bills, and this is his account, this is her account. It works for them. Most money gurus out there do not, Dave Ramsey especially, do not suggest that couples split up their money. And they still have access to each other's accounts, but it's his money and her money, and that works for them. But I guess where I'm going with that is I didn't see that. Now they have talked to me about it, but growing up, I didn't see how they managed their money. So even if we don't, as young adults, don't see good money management, our parents don't usually talk about it.
Right. Because I still don't know what my mom and dad do. I know that it's all one account, and it's either there or it's not when it comes to spending. They either have it or they don't. And there was never any other conversation there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing is even if you looked at the way we do our money management and our checking accounts and stuff, we probably do it weird compared to a lot of people too.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the things you have to figure out is just what works for you.
Yeah.
On whether you want to split up your paycheck that it covers all the bills, and then what's left is what's left, or however you want to do that. I mean, it's all personal preference thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
or if you want to take it all out in cash.
right. But ultimately, I think it's what the most important part is knowing where that money's going every month.
Right. It is so easy, especially as a young person, to just want something and go and buy it. Or, you know what, I have this money. It's where that term burning a hole in your pocket. You got to get it out. You got to get it spent. It's so easy to say, well, I got just a few extra dollars in my pocket. I can grab a coffee, or I can buy pizza for everyone, or whatever that might be. But then those few extra dollars add up in your pocket, and now you can't get gas in your car to get to work. So it's important to tell your money where to go, not wonder where it went.
Right. And we are, I would say, we're proponents of Dave Ramsey on at least his budgeting side of things. And I think if you listen to any financial person or anybody in that field or realm, you're going to have stuff that you agree with and disagree with. Because there's stuff that I disagree with on Dave Ramsey, and there's stuff that I think he does very, very well. But that's where his budgeting technique, I think, comes into play for us.
Yeah, he has the zero-based budget. I mean, it's not his budget, but that's what he suggests. And the zero-based budget is you take in everything you're going to have for the month, or your best guess of what you'll have for the month, and then you break it down into where you want it to go. You list all of your expenses, all of your debt, all of your payments, like your electricity, your gas, your house payment or rent, your food,
insurance.
Yes, insurance,
internet,
life insurance,
all of it.
Yes. List all of it and what it's going to cost. Then you also list your clothing. He suggests sinking funds. So once a year, you have to get the tags replaced on new stickers on your car. So instead of it being $500 in 1 month that you have to spend for your sticker, or what is it for one car?
That varies so much from state to state.
Okay.
Because like each one of our cars are quite a bit different on prices.
I was just trying to get a rough estimate. In Illinois, it's probably like 120 or something like that for one sticker.
It was $97 for a long time. I have no idea what it is since we've left Illinois.
So around $100, but instead of having to pay that and budget that all in 1 month, you can split that out and put away, just a few dollars every month to put toward that, put it aside. Then you have that money. So you're not trying to take things away from other things. And you have that sinking fund is what that's called, to put away a little bit of month. So you have that at the one time that you need it. We used to take trips every year, each of us. And so
we did. It was fun.
So we would put away money. We would put $20 or whatever away every month toward those trips, so that we had that money set aside, so we were able to take it.
Well, and that was important during that time too. And then just thinking of, you would go to that conference, I would go on a hunting trip. Mm-hmm. And my hunting trip being gone for, I don't remember. Well, we're usually gone a week to 10 days. Mm-hmm. And it probably cost us around $800 or $900 every year for me to take that trip. And that was buying my tags and gas and food and then having some spending money because, like, do you remember the year when I forgot all of my clothing? Mm-hmm. and I had to buy all new hunting clothing while I was
Yeah.
while I was gone. I still have it. But since we had been planning for that for the entire year, we would always go in November. November's a tough time to come up with an extra $1,000.
Right.
But to have that money the whole year, taking that trip was never a burden because we had put away for it the entire time.
Right. Which, talking about November, right around the corner is Christmas. So budgeting for Christmas all year long helps when Christmas comes and you don't have to, but you're wanting to put out a little extra money to buy gifts for people, or a little extra money to buy decorations or ornaments or trees or whatever it is you're spending your money on Christmas. There's often a little bit of extra food costs for celebrations and gatherings and things like that. So if you're budgeting for Christmas all year long, it makes it a lot easier when Christmas comes, that you're not putting money on a credit card and you have it set aside.
Before we started this, I should have looked it up. There's a website where they tell you what it costs to do Thanksgiving every year.
Do you want to look it up?
No, we don't have to.
Okay.
But I think, I wonder what they're anticipating Thanksgiving costing this year.
Right, because food prices are so much higher.
Right.
I have no idea.
But that's another one of those budgeting things where if you're putting away money, I think it's the 12th when we're recording this. So Thanksgiving's a little over 2 weeks away. Mm-hmm. Probably a little late to start budgeting for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But keep in mind for next year.
Right. But it's not too late to start budgeting for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not too late to start putting money away for vehicle registration or, a lot of people pay their car insurance every 6 months instead of monthly and stuff like that.
Something else we would put into a sinking fund was clothing, because you're going to wear holes in your pants. You know that you're going to stain a shirt. You know that your elastic in your underwear is going to wear out. You need to be able to replace your clothes. And if you have kids, they're going to have a growth spurt, and in 6 months you have to replace their entire wardrobe.
Well, and we know that every August-ish, all of these kids are going back to school. Mm-hmm. We know that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So why aren't we prepared for it?
Right.
And I think more than anything is a lot of us just were never taught. Mm-hmm. Because money is such I don't want to say taboo, but it's such a sensitive topic that people hate talking about. I know when we were running the church, I almost would have rather preached a sermon on sex than money. Because it is something that's so personal.
Right.
And I think we just weren't taught. So that's, I think, one of the benefits of what we're trying to do with Fireside Community is make money less mysterious.
Yeah. And with that, I think it's important for us to not only tell our money where to go at the beginning of the month, but also be able to log it and track your money. Because if you're not tracking where your money goes when you spend it, it's easy to say, oh, I'll just move some of that money in my budget. I have money to go out to eat today.
Right.
And then you don't track it and you don't actually move anything. And so then your budget is just out the window. Tracking it is just as important as setting it up at the beginning of the month.
Right. And so, and again, we've mentioned Dave Ramsey, and we're in no way, shape, or form affiliated with him. But he does have a pretty decent app that you can use to track your finances.
Yes, it's everydollar.com, and I'll link it in the show notes. But it's the basic version is free. So you can track it all, and it's very nice. It has nice little easy. It is user friendly, and it has nice graphics to show you the percentages, so you see where you're spending your money, and it has suggestions that your housing should be this percent of your income, and your miscellaneous should be this percentage of your income. Your food should be this percentage of your income. Your giving should be this percentage of your income. And so as you're putting those numbers in there, you can kind of see where your money is going. And if you have a lot of debt, then maybe you need to focus some of your stuff on there and cut out some of that fun stuff to get that debt down, so then you can have more fun money later.
Right. So you mentioned the different percentages that it shows, and a lot of financial people are going to tell you that, and I can never remember what it is, 25% of your income should go toward housing. So I don't know if that's just the rent or mortgage payment, or if that's everything involved in housing. But I was curious, what do you think about that? Because I don't know that I agree with it.
Me?
Yeah. What do you think about the idea of, I should be paying this percentage of my income into housing, or this percentage into miscellaneous?
Oh, it doesn't say on here. Maybe it's only on the
computer.
Because I thought it did say. Sorry, I'm looking at the Every Dollar app, trying to see what it is, but I thought there was some. Oops.
So as you're scrolling through that, I think one of the other nice things about it is you can input whatever budget line item you want.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not just, this is gas, this is groceries. You could put clothing, you can put restaurants, you can put gifts for friends.
Yeah. And what's nice about that is everybody's going to have different line items based off your lifestyles. Every year I'm going to buy a hunting and fishing license. Well, that doesn't need to be a line item for a lot of people.
Right.
We have a line item for camping.
Right.
To pay site fees.
And we have a gardening line item so that we can prepare to buy all the stuff for the garden.
Right.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people may or may not have that kind of stuff.
So back to your percentages, what I think, I feel like it's a good guide to take those suggestions. But some people want to spend their more money here than others. Like if I hold my cars at very high esteem, I'm going to spend more money on my cars. I'm going to spend more money on maintenance. I'm going to spend more money on things to make them look nice or sound nice or whatever it may be. I might spend more money there. That's not me. But I like to have guests over. So I'm going to spend more money on my dining room. I'm going to spend more money on having nice plates and silverware. And I'm going to spend more money on food so that I can do that. So the percentages are a good suggestion to start with and to make sure that you're not way overspending in one area. But if ultimately it's going to reflect you and your personality.
Sure. So my thoughts kind of on the percentage idea is, like you said, maybe that car is more important to me, or that maybe I'm willing to eat ramen 3 nights a week because I want to take that trip, or whatever it is. But I do believe starting out, it's a good idea to follow them.
Sure.
Until you kind of get your feet under you. And especially if you've ever been in a position where you've had issues paying for a rent or a mortgage, or maybe if you're single, maybe you don't need that 3-bedroom apartment downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to look at a 1-bedroom studio a little out of the center of town to save some money.
Right.
At least until you kind of get your feet under you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then as far as the debt aspect of it goes, and we don't need to get into it here, but I find myself falling more into the category that there's no real such thing as good debt. And I know a lot of people would argue with me, and that's fine. But I don't think there's really any good debt to have.
Sure. And if you do have debt, to get it down, Dave Ramsey is a proponent of the debt snowball. So to focus on your lowest payment, and
balance.
Lowest balance. Sorry. So pay all your minimums for everything and take your lowest balance and put anything extra toward that. Sell things, work a little side jobs, do whatever you can to get that paid off. When it's paid off, you close the account, cut up your credit card, whatever it is, then transfer whatever you were paying for that to the next one. And then you're doing the same thing with that one. So your payment that was for that first one is now doubling the other one. So you're paying that minimum payment and that first one's minimum payment and whatever else extra you can throw toward that. And then on the next one, you're taking this minimum payment and this minimum payment on top of the other minimum payment. So those larger ones, you can get paid faster as you snowball it down your debt chain. That's Dave Ramsey's way. It does work if you can pay attention to it. And he has a couple worksheets that are free on his website, on the Every Dollar app that you can get if you have debt that you need to pay down as well. Something else that Dave Ramsey teaches, which is very important because inevitably you have your nice laid out budget, you have everything telling you where you're going, you're tracking your budget, and then your battery dies in your car. Well, you didn't plan for that.
Right.
Or your refrigerator dies, or your dishwasher drain goes out.
Right.
So how do you handle that? Well, you have an emergency fund. Separate, whether you pull it out in cash or you have a separate bank account, it is not in your main account. It's not as easy to access. You have a minimum of $1,000 emergency fund, and you get that by selling anything that you can, working extra side jobs, however you can do that to get that $1,000 first and foremost before you start anything with your debt snowball. You are saving your $1,000 emergency fund, because inevitably, if it's not there, something will go wrong.
Right. And really, I wonder if he's updated that at all, because I really don't think $1,000 is enough anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at anything he's done in a long time, but I guess you can cover most emergencies with $1,000. But the thing of it is to remember what's an emergency.
Yeah.
Like, yes, your car battery going to bad needs to be handled. Mm-hmm. You got 2 flat tires, like, it has to be handled. Your refrigerator goes out. You can argue that your dishwasher going out's not an emergency. There's lots of things that, if our laptop died tomorrow, we will survive without a laptop. So that's not really an emergency.
Sure, you can budget it down the road to get it replaced.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the other things too is comfort items aren't an emergency.
Right.
They're just that. They're to make our life more comfortable.
Right, and getting home late and not having time to make dinner. is not an emergency.
Right? That's how you end up spending $80 on tacos. But so there's a lot to get into, and it's certainly not something you can cover, I think, in a 30-minute talk. Mm-hmm. But I think as we're going through the rest of this month and our budgeting month, which it's a good time to be thinking about budgets, because right around the corner, it's we're 44 days from Christmas and 65 days from canceling gym memberships. So getting that idea started right now and rolling into the new year with maybe a solid financial plan might be a good place to start.
Right.
As that New Year's resolution. And we can absolutely, throughout this month, we'll talk more about some of the biblical aspects of finances. That I think biblically how we look at finances is a lot different than how we're taught finances today in the world. Mm-hmm. Because right off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly where it is. It's in the Psalms or Proverbs, where that the debtor is a slave to the lender.
Yeah,
that's not exactly the terminology they use, but it's very close.
Yes.
It talks about being, if you're a debtor, that there's foolishness in that, and but it talks also about being very, very generous. I think of the Bible story, and again, I'm drawing a blank on where it is, but the where the widow gives her last coin, or one of her last coins, and Jesus points out that she's given much more.
Right.
Because of the sacrifice.
Right. And this is just a little bit that we've talked about with generosity, because in your budget, you should have tithing or giving in there as well. And we can get into that deeper in our next podcast. We'll talk more about giving and generosity and the biblical stance behind that, because that absolutely should be part of your plan from the get-go.
Right.
So just to recap, we kind of talked a lot about it, a lot about different things kind of all over the place. So I just want to recap. For a budget plan, you should be trying to put away $1,000 emergency fund right off the get-go. You should be trying to do, a debt snowball to get rid of any debt that you have, so that the money that you're making is yours. And then with that, you should be making a budget to tell your money where to go, every single dollar of it. So it's a zero-based budget. If you are making more money than what you guessed, when you get your income, when you get your paycheck, you log that paycheck. And if that's more than you guessed, then you fix that and you adjust your budget as you need. I used to be very nitpicky about that. But so zero-based budget. Make sure you are logging your money, because that's just as important, if not more important, than actually having the budget. We suggest using the Every Dollar Budget app and website. There are other programs out there. You can make your own Excel sheet if you want, if you're into that stuff. You can use paper and pencil too. So just writing down.
When's the last time you wrote in a checkbook registry?
Do we have a check?
Just curious. We do. I wrote a check not too long ago.
You did. I didn't think we had a check. I actually created a checkbook registry in Numbers, which is Apple's Excel, for our oldest son, so he can log his money and put it where it needs to go.
Right.
I mean, but not paper. Anyway. Now you threw me off. I don't even know where it's going. Log your money.
All right. We'll be talking a lot more about money the rest of this month, and diving into some of the biblical aspects of it too. So.
Yep. And again, just like last month, the last week of this month, I will also be interviewing a couple teens to see how they budget their money and how that works as a newly employed, how they feel about money and the importance of having a budget, and how they work that into their lives.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Oh, on our website, we have merch now. So if you want to support Fireside Mission, but you don't want to just throw money at us, go buy our merch and you'll help us spread the word that way as well. If you go to firesidecommunity.org, you can see more about us, and please like and subscribe so you can see more of us, because who wouldn't?
Right.
Who wouldn't want to?